Hi guys, welcome back to Kels2.0. Today I'm doing a video on Whole30. Yay, Whole30! So what is Whole30? Whole30 is 30 days of eating nothing but whole, unprocessed, nutrient-dense foods. So to accomplish this, you eliminate all legumes, dairy, grains, alcohol, and added sugar for 30 days. So you're eating lots of yummy fruits and vegetables, lean protein, eggs, and healthy fats such as ghee, avocado, and extra virgin olive oil. Eliminating all of these things from your diet gives your brain and your gut an opportunity to kind of purge the effects that those foods have on your system, give you a clean slate so that as you reintroduce those things back into your diet, it's kind of they call it a personal science experiment, which I really like, to learn what works and doesn't work for you. I don't know about you, but I see conflicting things all the time about nutrition. I think nutrition science is something that we still have a lot to learn about. And obviously we're not all the same, we're all very different. Some of us can handle some things better than others, but this is a chance for you to learn what works for you. When I first heard about the program, I spent several hours online learning all about it. One of the great things about Whole30 is that you don't have to pay a cent to participate in the program. They do have a book called It Starts With Food, which I highly recommend. It taught me so much about nutrition that I never really knew. So I highly recommend reading that. But all the information that you need to do a Whole30 is available completely free on their website. They also have, I think, a paid subscription, like email subscription, that you can do, and they'll email you every day, coinciding with whatever day of the Whole30 that you're on. I didn't do it. I heard it's great and is a great support system, but I didn't feel that I needed it. Still don't really feel like I need it, but who knows, one day down the line when I'm doing a Whole30, I might find that beneficial. So anyway, I read It Starts With Food. Well, actually, I listened to it. I downloaded it on my iPod and listened to it as I walked to and from work. I learned so much from the book, so I really recommend that you get it. Because knowledge is power, and understanding why you eat or shouldn't eat certain things makes a big difference, especially for me and my willpower. Like, the education and knowledge is what I really held on to. I'm a lover of science, so when I can understand that part of the program, it makes a big difference for me. The last basic thing that you should know about the program, it is not slated as a weight loss program. It's an elimination diet. Your purpose isn't to drop a lot of weight, but naturally taking care of your nutrition and being mindful of it in the way that you are on the Whole30, you will naturally have weight loss as a result. Part of the Whole30 program is actually not weighing or measuring yourself during the 30 days. This is the pit that I did not stick to completely. I did weigh myself a couple times. I knew I was really close to a couple of big weight loss milestones, namely losing 50 pounds. And I just wanted to know, so I did weigh myself. But I personally have never felt like I've had a really unhealthy relationship with the scale. And I knew I was in a frame of mind that I wouldn't quit if what was on the scale wasn't what I thought it should be. I was feeling so good at this point in my Whole30 that I didn't see the harm. Maybe that's naughty, but that's just what I did. I weighed myself. Whole30 is not about losing weight. That's why they tell you not to weigh yourself. You're supposed to be listening to your body, learn to listen to your hunger and satiety signals, as well as feeling good. I think a lot of us, we eat so much processed food. I shouldn't say a lot of us, I'll speak for myself. I know I ate a lot of processed foods, and I never realized really how bogged down and tired and lousy I felt because of these things. So by day 10 in my Whole30, I was feeling incredible. Now that I had all these things out of my system, that what was on the scale didn't really matter at that point. I knew that I was fueling my body and treating my body the way it needs to be treated to get the most out of it. The number on the scale doesn't matter if you're doing what's best for yourself. Now, as a skeptic, one of the first things that I thought when I heard about Whole30 and what it was, isn't that a bit extreme? And after learning all about it, I will say no. It's extreme in the sense that it is extremely different from the standard American diet, but there's nothing extreme about fueling your body with whole, unprocessed, nutrient-dense food. So in the days leading up to my Whole30, which I started on February 15th, I had one last birthday and Valentine's celebration with my husband. But I dove in with both feet. So I got on Pinterest, which is great. Just look up Whole30. You'll find so many great healthy recipes that are all pretty simple. That's something I found when you cook with whole ingredients, is you can make very tasty things from these whole ingredients that don't take a whole lot of time and effort. The second thing I did was sort through my cupboards. My husband didn't do the Whole30 with me, so I had to leave the food in the house for him to eat. But I just separated them, had a shelf to myself in the pantry of things that I knew were compliant. I just told myself that everything else just wasn't even there. I made menus. I planned out for a week and made a shopping list and went and got my shopping done. Which through the program I had to do one big shop a week, and then usually halfway through would do a little produce shop to get fresh produce to get me through the end of the week. So I did a big grocery shop and got the house stuffed full of yummy, delicious things, and I was ready to go. Now on Whole30.com they have a nice little timeline that goes through the days of the Whole30 and kind of tells you what to expect. So while I did do lots of shopping and food prep and menu planning, the biggest preparation was just mentally getting ready for such a drastic change to my own diet, and to be ready for the hard bits. I was well prepared and knew well ahead of time that things were going to get tough, and I knew that that is where I was going to be tested. And tested I was. Days 1 through 7 were very tough. I've been through tougher things, but this was just tough. And we all know that, like, when you don't have the comfort of foods that you're used to, you can get a bit cranky. So I think I definitely was that first week a bit cranky. I had a mild headache for 2 or 3, 4 days. It wasn't anything unbearable, but it was definitely there, which I was told ahead of time it would be there as a result of not having sugar and these things that I was used to. Aside from headaches, I had a few days where I was very tired. And I'm very grateful that I had a job, or I have a job that allowed me to get in some naps and get a bit of extra sleep, because I was just dog tired. I had no energy, but I knew that if I could just push through that things were going to start looking up. In that first week, I also had quite a few mental battles with myself. My husband works nights, so there were nights that I was home alone, which for anyone who has a problem with eating too much delicious food, you know that being home alone in the evening would be a test for any of us. So I knew that this is where I was going to have to throw down my sword and say no more. Then one of these particular nights, my husband was gone, and we had a bag of delicious chips, one of my favorite chips in the house that a friend had brought over a few days earlier, and as soon as I thought about them, that they were there, I hopped up off the couch and I was like, I'm gonna eat those chips. And I marched to the kitchen and I stopped and I stared at them, and anyone watching would have just seen a woman standing in her kitchen staring at her cupboard, but there was like a full-on war going on in my head. I paced back and forth and I looked at them and I tried saying out loud, like, I am not going to eat this food. I know it's bad for me. I made a promise to myself. I need to keep this commitment, because I knew that only by keeping those promises and those commitments would I build the strength to continue to keep those promises. So it was a big deal for me. Like, it sounds really silly, but I stood there for like 10 minutes, and at the end I walked away and I didn't eat them, and I really wanted to eat them, but I walked away and was just really proud of myself. And this happened several more times throughout the first couple weeks, this battle with the sugar dragon, as they call them. But I was just really proud of myself and felt really accomplished, and it was kind of a changing moment for me. That first week was really hard, these mental battles and headaches and needing naps and things. Like, I didn't feel good, but I pushed through, because then I felt better, and not just better, but a lot better, like maybe better than I've ever felt in my life.